Hello everyone, welcome to Ilian and the Magic Box. Today on our show, you're going to have Nathan. Nathan is from Blackpool in England, in the UK. So let's see what Nathan has to say. Enjoy the interview. So hello Nathan, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Very well. Thanks so much for taking the time today for the interview. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. It's been a bit of a kerfuffle, hasn't it? A few missed weeks here and there, but we're here now. So
I know I've been trying. I think it meant to be today, for sure.
yeah.
So tell me, how's your weekend going so far?
So far, it's relatively relaxed. Just been out enjoying the sun here in the UK near Blackpool. So yeah, that's been my weekend. Just at the gym, running. I've just got off a run actually, 6 mile run. So
Wow, that's
yeah,
amazing. So tell me, what has been the highlight of your weekend so far?
the highlight of my weekend so far. Probably sounds really boring to be honest, compared to what you may see on my TikTok. But it's just been a barbecue.
Wow,
It's just
that's
been a
not,
weekend barbecue, that sort of stuff, with my parents. In fact, yeah.
I see. So tell me, where are you from, Nathan?
I am originally from Blackpool, born and bred in Blackpool. I've lived not, in a little town called Freckleton for all my life, really, which is only 6 or 7 miles away from Blackpool.
Okay. So
But
tell me tell me
go
something
on.
interesting about Blackpool. Tell me something interesting about the city.
Well, something interesting about Blackpool is I'm sure it was regarded as like the Las Vegas of the UK in some regards. It's a highly desired tourist attraction, with Blackpool Pleasure Beach, theme park ride,
Yeah,
casinos, pubs, clubs, all that sort of stuff. So if you're
yeah,
looking for a high life, a lot of people tend to go to Blackpool if you're in the UK.
amazing. And what do you do for work for a living, Nathan?
I work with my mum and dad, so it's a family business, and
Hmm.
we fit in fireplaces, covings, ornamental plasterwork, very
Wow,
hands-on manual labour stuff, but a lot of Victorian sort of old art style restoration. So fibrous
amazing.
plaster, ceiling roses, that
My
stuff.
God, it's very interesting for sure. Wow, amazing. Okay, so during the interview, I'm going to explore a bit more about your life and also about your journey so far, okay?
Okay, yeah.
But before we start our journey within the Magic Box, I would like to start the interview talking about your challenge on TikTok, yeah? My God, I love that. I love the idea. Coffee after run, coffee, yeah? After run challenge. So tell me when the idea came along. I've been watching some of your videos. You include some of your friends as well, your mates, and I love the
Yeah.
idea. So tell me a little bit about the idea.
Well, where it came from was I always used, after a run or after work or after being in the gym, I'm a bit of a typical bloke. I enjoy a drink. I'll go down to the pub, have a drink or whatever, and then go home, have your tea and go to bed. But I'd always used to down the first pint every time. And my friend said, listen, you should make a video of this and post it every day. And originally, it wasn't supposed to be called coffee. It would just be, a pint of Guinness. But I did that my first day and TikTok removed it. So I said, well, I'm going to have to call it coffee or something like that. So they don't
Sure.
remove me. So ever since then, it's just always stuck with the name coffee.
I love it. I love it. Actually, before the interview, I was watching your video. You were in the pub with your mates, and you did together. And I realized that we started first. He started after, but he finished first than you. It was very quick.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Danny is his name, and he's a beast. I thought I could drink my pint fast, but yeah, he's something else. Him.
Amazing. Love it. I love
I
it.
go out with him quite a lot. He's a good laugh.
Nathan, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through memories in life and share your point of views?
Yes, yeah.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So I have here my best friend. Of random fun questions. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to play a song now just for us to relax before the first question. Okay?
Okay.
Let's do it. Okay, before you start the interview, during the journey, if it comes up a question that you don't want to answer, you don't want to talk about, always can change, okay?
Okay. Yeah, ready.
First question is, if you could live anywhere in the world, where that would be and why?
I could live anywhere in the world. I would probably say Tenerife,
Hmm.
because my grandparents owned a flat there, and
Wow.
we used to go on holiday there pretty much every year for 2 weeks, and it was
Wow.
just it was a mix of everything for me, because if I wanted that quiet, chill night at the pool, a couple cocktails and that's it, sit in the sun, watch the sunset, I could have that. But if you also wanted the big high nightlife, you could go to a town called Los Cristianos, which was never far away.
Right.
So it had everything for me. Sun all year round, really. Good weather, nice relaxed environment. Yeah, that'd
Wow.
be my place to go.
And where are you planning to go for your next holidays?
My next holiday is going to be France in May.
Oh, wow.
So late May, I'm
And
going to France. I've never been to France before, so I thought,
okay,
why not? Go with a few friends, see how it
a-
goes.
amazing. Okay, next question. Let's do it. Hey, Nathan from England. Okay, what's the best and the worst of being yourself?
The best, I suppose, the best and worst about being myself is going to be the same trait, and
Mhm.
it's an unwillingness to quit, or too determined, or slash stubborn. And
Right.
that's the approach I take in every walk of my life, really. Very
Uh-huh.
helpful when it comes to work, gym, being in shape. But if you're trying to, let's say, not necessarily a debate, for lack of a better word, if you have an unwillingness to compromise, you may not see eye to eye,
Wow.
which, it can sort of, it's had a few clashes with my parents a few times, but at the end of the day, it can always be resolved. But I'd say an
Totally.
unwillingness to compromise would be my best and worst trait.
Amazing. And tell me, when you think about yourself, when you analyze Nathan, what's the biggest joy of being you?
Biggest joy of being me, um, I suppose for now, my youth. Me
Uh-huh.
being me, I like to have a bit of fun. So that's my joy. I wake up most days with a smile on my face and just
Yeah.
be glad I have youth and health, and
Wow.
have as much fun with it as I can and
That's
see how far I can
amazing.
take it.
Yeah, it's interesting saying that because you come across, I can feel your energy, that you're very approachable, you have this positive mindset, and you always been this way?
I never actually used to think this way, believe it or not. What changed it for me was, it was actually my first job when I was, yeah, 18 years old, and I started working behind a bar. And before that, I was a nice guy, but I was shy. I was never outgoing. I wouldn't really like to talk to people that much. But when I
I
started
see.
working behind the bar a few months later, you start to get to know people, different people, learn how they think, learn what their sense of humor is. And you tend to find that whatever kind of person it is, it doesn't matter, unless, they're not the nicest person in the world. You tend to get along with them, no matter, what their personality is. You find a way to just, oh, you like this, oh, I gel with you this way, that sort of stuff. You tend to mold your way in social dynamics that I never thought I could do anyway, until I started working behind the bar. So that's where I've got it from. But I was
I
never
totally
born that way.
I totally agree with you. I think in those environments, there are so many different people that cross, your daily basis. That's people different personality, people who connects with you, and somehow you feel more confident. You just feel more open about people. That's how I
Yeah,
see it.
I never thought I'd say it, but I love interacting with different people.
I
Going
see.
out with them, having a laugh. Bit of
Amazing.
banter here and there. That's what I like. I enjoy talking to people.
Next question. Let's do it. Okay, so before the next question, tell me what's the biggest joy of working, with your parents, their business. What do you like the most about it, and what do you find most challenging?
The biggest joy, and I've always said this actually, the biggest joy about working for yourself or slash family members is that if you need to take time off for whatever reason, it can be done. There's no boss to answer to, or, there's no, oh, can I have this day off? Can I have that day off for a certain appointment? And your boss says, no, we need you in this day. For me, I don't get that. For me, it's like, whenever you need, it's done. That sort of thing. I've got no one to answer to. But the worst part is, you do, especially with owning your own business, you do have to come in on the days that nobody else will come in. So
Right.
There's days where like, oh, wages need to be paid today. It doesn't matter if you're sick or you're ill. You've got to come in, otherwise nobody gets paid. So it's
Absolutely.
one of them. The perks of it, yeah, you can shut whenever you want, but you can't if that makes sense. Or I suppose you've got no one to answer to.
Uh-huh.
That's the best part. But the worst part is, it doesn't matter, if you're ill in a bad way, you still got to come in and open up and pay the wages. And that's how it is.
And which person in your life or in your family you feel more close to right now?
Probably my father.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'd be my father. But I've always been close to my father, but these past 2-3 years have really sealed the deal with
Wow.
that.
Okay, so your father is watching this interview right now, and you have a moment and opportunity to send him a message. What would you say? He's watching.
Send him a message. What could I say to him? Loosen up would be the best thing I could say to him. My father's a very, very stern, masculine figure. And I think there's times, well, I have that in myself as well. I'm sure most men do. But there's times where, you can let that down a bit, let your hair down, have a bit of fun.
Amazing.
And hopefully these last few years, I've taught him to do that a bit. And it seems that I have.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I've broken through just a bit. That little mischievous side when he was younger has come back out again.
Amazing. I love it.
Yeah, that would be my advice. That thing to say to him: loosen up, have a bit of fun.
And what's the biggest difference between both of you and the biggest similarity?
Well, I'll start with the easier one. The biggest similarity is we're both unwilling to compromise and we're both determined. And for the vast majority of the time, we work well. That, if it comes to like a big job or whatever, and there's just two of us, we're like, yeah, let's get this done. And we won't leave until it's done.
Wow.
The biggest difference, I'd say, is there's ways that I am more laid back where he isn't.
I see.
There's issues that I could happily sleep on that he would be like, no, we've got to get this done now. Like, it doesn't have to be done right now, That'd be the biggest difference. He's a very, very hard-working man, more so than me. He's perhaps the hardest working man I've ever met. Wow. And I'm not just saying that because he's my father. I genuinely have not seen anybody work harder than him before.
Wow, it's amazing.
So, yeah, that would be our biggest difference. Is I'm a bit more chilled back in some instances where he isn't. So that's our biggest difference.
Okay. Next question is, what makes you feel discouraged?
What makes me feel discouraged? It may seem like a boring answer or a generic answer, but not much really.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose the only thing that would there's plenty of times where I can say I felt discouraged to do something, like whether it be tiredness or whatever, but I've always got the job done. But I suppose to actively make me feel discouraged is a lack of results in something. That would make me feel discouraged. I'd still pursue it, but if you put all work, no results, that's it's a big kick in the teeth for anyone. I don't care who you are. You just to put all a lot of work into something, and you see no results. It does. It's like, wow, okay, what's the point?
Totally.
But through that, work, no results, but you're a bit better as a person, and then eventually you hit that work, and then boom, results. That brings back the fire.
I see.
So I think that's how I work through discouragement as a whole.
And do you consider yourself to be more of a day or night person?
Probably more of a night person. Definitely more of a night person, I think. Yeah, I do enjoy the nightlife, but that doesn't, my morning life doesn't suffer at all, really. I can still happily get up in the morning, and still be ready. But if I was to pick one, yeah, I'd lean more towards the night side. Night person, really.
Okay. Next question. Let's do it. You like dancing, Nathan?
Well, yeah, I do actually. When I've had a drink, yeah, I love a good dance. That, yeah. And again, I never used to be like that, but I thought, you know what? Why not?
Absolutely.
Why not?
Next question is, absolutely. Next question is, what's your favorite holiday season of the year?
Holiday season for me would be winter, believe it or not.
Why is that?
The reason why I like winter, I mean, well, I'm a fireplace fitter, really. So, we fit in a lot of fireplaces for this reason. But I like the coziness of being inside, outside. Well, looking outside and it's cold. You've got fire on. It's nice and warm. You've got a brew. You've got soup or whatever it is. I just like that cozy feeling of being inside when it's cold outside.
Is your birthday around winter time or not?
Say again, sorry?
Is your birthday around winter time?
My birthday isn't actually. My birthday is peak summertime, really. My birthday is 15th of June. So mine's summertime, but my father's is 2 days before Christmas.
Oh, wow.
23rd of December, yeah.
My sister is 22nd, just 3 days before Christmas. My sister. Wow.
Yeah, so yeah. Well, I'm sure your sister would say the same thing then. It shouldn't be the case, but it kind of is that the Christmas sort of does take over priority when you do become a certain age. You know, you sort of expect it. And I try my best to make sure that my dad's birthday and Christmas are separate. So I go out of my way for him on his birthday, and I go out of my way for him at Christmas. But it can be difficult to do.
Totally. Tell me, do you like celebrating your birthdays, or for you just a normal day?
For me, birthdays, not. I mean, I wouldn't say a normal day, because some of the things that I do on birthdays are not particularly normal, but they're not outrageous, let's say. You know, I'm a very simple guy, to be honest. For my birthday, I'm just like, let's have a meal, you know, a couple of my friends round, and then we'll go out for a couple of drinks after, that sort of thing.
And how about Christmas? Do you have this Christmas you know, feeling when, you know, during the Christmas period? Do you kind of get into it, or you kind of be more relaxed about it?
A bit of both. I am relaxed, but in the way that I'm enjoying the Christmas mood. I do enjoy the Christmas mood quite a bit. You know, I like it. Because it's the time where everybody in the family comes together, you know, to celebrate Christmas. And that's what I enjoy. It's not necessarily the festive mood, as, let's say, you know, my mother loves that side of it. Decorations everywhere. It's like she's put a Christmas bomb in the house and it just blew up. So not as much as my mum in that sense. She's much more for the festive side of it, but I like what the festivities bring in terms of family, food, you know, that sort of stuff.
Amazing. 3 questions left. Let's do it. Okay, so before the next question, tell me, what's the meaning of life for you, Nathan?
The meaning of life for me, it's come down to, I think, particularly one phrase, really. And somebody told me this at the pub, and it was actually bog standard, very simple, but I think it appeals to the youth quite a lot, is work hard and play harder. So, in other words, do your hard work, and I can't stress this enough, you have to work hard in this day and age. If you want to, you know, get somewhere that you want to be, you've got to work hard, but also you've got to enjoy the fruits of your labor. If you work hard, and that's it, what's the point? You know, for me, there's got to be somewhere where you can relax and, you know, look around and think, yeah, you know, I'm building something good. I'm going to enjoy it for a bit.
Well, tell me a life lesson that life has taught you that you feel very grateful for.
Nothing is ever black and white.
Good one.
It's never ever clear cut. And my dad taught me this, actually, despite him being very stern and set in his ways. He said this to me when I was about 16 years old. It's like, nothing's ever black and white. There's always two sides to every story, and there's always grey areas. So don't be so quick to snap and judge. You don't know. You don't know the full story. So it's never just, this black's black, white's white. There's always more to it.
Totally.
There's always more to life than just that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think there are always both sides of the stories. You know what I mean? Of course, there's always something between both sides. I think there's no like all right or all wrong. Both there is some, you know, intervention there. I agree.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question is, how to describe a perfect, healthy relationship?
Perfect healthy relationship. That what is in friendship or like a genuine like friend, like relationship, partner.
Relationship as a couple. As a couple.
I think a good dynamic for that is, I think my grandparents is the best example of that. They've been together for 58 years now.
Oh.
Basically the same premise as me. I think this is where I've got it from, is that they both hard workers, very strong, tough people. And I think if you've got two people that are like that and are willing to be ambitious and also willing to work with one another, that's a good dynamic. I think the most important thing in a relationship is two people that want to work hard but also have a sense of humor.
Totally, absolutely.
I think those two are a very, very important thing for me in a relationship. If you've got two people who work hard but can have some fun, sense of humor, they're going to get along well together.
And how do you see the dating life in Blackpool, around your town where you live? Do you feel like people, they tend to go more on dates, like on apps, or they go out? How do you see that?
And I don't really go dating that often, but I can tell you in Blackpool, the dating scene is, it's not the best, to be honest with you. There's a lot of people who, they go on a date, one night stand, and they never see each other again.
I see.
That I know. There's a lot of that goes on in Blackpool. From what I've seen anyway, I mean, I've never first-hand experienced it because I don't really go out dating that often. I just like to go out with my mates, have a drink. If a girl likes me, like, oh, how you doing? Give you my number and we can sort something out. But I don't actively go out looking for it. So I couldn't tell you 100% what the dating scene in Blackpool is like. But from what I've seen and heard from people who have done that, that's what I see from it.
I see. Okay.
So
2 questions left. Let's do it. Okay, next question is, talking about dating, tell us about, by the way, how old are you, Nathan?
I am 20 years old.
Okay, so I think you're okay with that. Right, next question is, tell us about your first kiss and your first love.
First kiss was actually in primary school, I do remember. Yeah, it would have been in primary school. I was only young at the time, everyone first kiss, all that stuff, hide in the corner, little peck, that was my first kiss, and that was it. My first love would have been in high school, and it lasted about a year or so.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm.
But it was the same way for me that when I was 16, 17, I didn't really talk to people that often as much as I do now.
Right.
So I can still have that same kind of love for someone, but if you don't know how to convey it to them, it doesn't seem so.
Totally.
So that for me, that's how I did it. I'm not going to mention any names or anything like that, but
no.
It never ended on bad blood. I'm still good friends with both of these people now.
Of course.
So that's all okay. It was just a case of, well, you're not the right person for me. It's okay. We can move on, go our separate ways.
Totally, and I think you're so young. You're just navigating through life. You understand yourself. You understand more people. It's natural to go through those journey. It's about understanding. Tell me your celebrity crush. Your first one.
Celebrity crush. My first ever celebrity crush was probably Katy Perry, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, I was young at the time, and my mum used to always tease me about it, wind me up. She'd always used to put Katy Perry songs on and tell everybody that I liked her. So yeah, that was my first celebrity crush. Amazing. I think, yeah.
Cool. Last question, ready?
Yes, yeah.
Let's do it. Last question. Okay, before the last question, of course, through the interview, I find so interesting and so sweet you mentioned about your dad, your family, how much you appreciate, the hard work, the inspiration you have through your grandparents as well. So far, what has been the most meaningful lesson you've learned from your dad?
The world will never meet you halfway.
Wow.
That's something he's taught me, is that if you truly want something, it's
Mhm.
never going to be given to you. And if it is, question whether it's worth having.
Totally. Wow.
So, yeah, the world will never meet you halfway is the best
Okay.
lesson he's taught me.
Last question is, usually, what is the first thing that you think about when you wake up?
First thing I think about when I wake up is, for me, how long have I got until I have to leave the door? As I look at the time, that's my first thing. But yeah, it'd be more a case of, right, what's the job today? Most of the time, we're thinking about business, and it's like, right, today's Monday. It's this job and this job today.
I see. Hey,
First thing when I wake up, it's work on my mind. To be honest with you,
what would be the title of your memoir?
but that's the title of my memoir. That's a good question. I don't really know. I've stumped me on that. I don't really know the title of my memoir.
Maybe a cough after run. I'm joking.
Yeah, something like that. Is coffee really good for you after a workout or something like that? And I'd come up with reasons for and against.
I like that. Okay, it's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to give away some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking. Okay.
Okay,
Let's start
one word
with,
answers.
Yeah, it's like word association. The first word that comes to your mind. Okay.
Okay.
One word for money.
Necessity.
Family.
Strong.
Fear.
Irrational.
Life.
Difficult.
Love.
Meaningful.
Religion.
Questionable.
Like that. Sex.
Obsessed.
Politics.
Say again, sorry.
Politics.
Politics. Fake.
Friendship.
Dynamic.
Desire.
Cautious.
I like that. Regret.
Fruitful.
Success.
Success.
Yeah.
Good.
Wish.
Potential.
Happiness.
I'd use cautious again for that.
Okay. One word for Blackpool.
Quirky.
One word for England.
The best.
If you could define your TikTok page in one word, what that would be?
Alcoholic.
Oh,
From
so
the outside
interesting.
looking in, you'd think, yeah, alcoholic.
Oh dear. And the last one now, if you could define, your parents' business in one word, what that would be?
Established.
Amazing. Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your dad for a coffee after run.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask him, define Nathan in one positive and one negative word only, what he would say.
One positive is disciplined.
Okay.
One negative is stubborn.
Interesting. Okay. Let's play now, Nathan, in the magic box, and you can ask me a question. Okay, you can ask me a question now, Nathan.
It's going to be a weird one, but it's very British. And if you're a British native, there's things in here that will make sense. But what I'm going to ask you is, what is a weird food combination that you like, but perhaps nobody else likes or everybody else finds weird?
Okay, I love the question. And the first thing that comes to my mind straight away so I'm originally from Brazil, and in Brazil, this is not weird at all. But of course, London, there are so many nationalities, people. Maybe it's a bit cliche, but I had so many situations that I was with friends, and they're like, "My God, why do you do that?" Okay, pizza, and I put ketchup and I put mayo in like mix, and I love it. I love it. So my Italian friends, they go like, "What are you doing?" People, they go like, "Why you mix?" So for me, pizza, always we put ketchup and mayo and mix as well. Oh my God, that's the best. I don't know if you have tried before.
I've not tried. Well, I've not tried that before, but I have tried pizza with mayo before, and I quite enjoyed it.
It's a
So
lot.
I can see where you're coming from with that.
Yeah, yeah.
I can also understand why Italian people would be like, "What are you doing?" But I can see why that's enjoyable.
So yeah, it's something that and some of my Brazilian friends back in Brazil is quite popular. We do that. But since I lived in Portugal before I moved to England. But since I've been living in Europe most of my life, there was always a moment if I go out with friends or for a meal or for a pizza, if there's always people around, they don't know me, they go like, why? They look at me like, what are you doing? Like you're losing all the taste of the pizza or something. I said, I don't know. It feels great. That's it. I love the question. It's something that people find weird sometimes. But I just like the taste of it. So I think it's amazing. Yeah. But mayo, it's a must. I can take out the ketchup, but mayo for me always there.
I agree. I agree. The mayo is spot on. I agree.
Did you enjoy the interview, Nathan?
I have, yes. Very good.
Thanks again. Thanks for taking the time. It's amazing to connect with people like you, like full of energy. You're so young and you have this mindset of work ethic, and I think it's amazing, this connection with your family as well. It's amazing to see that. But before you go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
Well, something that I would live by, and I think it would be great if other people live by, is never quit. Never quit.
Okay.
Don't ever quit doing something you love. And if you're getting results, never quit.
Amazing. Okay. So before we go, I want to see you drink your coffee now.
No, I've not got a coffee with me. But I'll tell you what I will do is straight after this, I'll upload one for you. Is that good?
Thanks again. Regards to your parents, to your family and friends, and you keep in touch. It was a pleasure to have you on the show. Okay. Take care.
Pleasure having me. Thank you. Thank you. Cheers. Bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye-bye. See you next time.